In everyday life, most of us maintain our balance in passing. Only a fall or other form of disturbance causes us to start paying attention to this skill. Most people only notice the problem in old age or after an injury or illness, when falls begin to occur too often and become a threat. This can be avoided. Mainly responsible for maintaining balance are the vestibular organ located in the middle ear, the visual organ, proprioceptors in muscles, tendons, ligaments, and joints, and skin receptors. Information from the organs goes to the central nervous system. From here, nerve impulses are generated to the limb muscles, torso muscles, and eyeballs, triggering reflex reactions that correct posture. That exercises we offer help improve muscles, ligaments, and joints, and stimulate the activity of the neurological system. Thanks to them, your reactions to unexpected, disturbing situations will become faster. We are helped in regaining and controlling balance by a set of motor coordination called strategies for restoring body balance. These reactions depend on the strength of the stimulus disturbing the balance and the direction of its action. When balance is disturbed, caused by a small force, for example when tripping, stability is regained by activating the reflex of the muscles that stabilize the ankle joint. Examples of foot exercises: working on coordination. Lift your toes and heels at the same time, alternately. Lift the toes and heels of your feet alternately. Increase and decrease your stance by moving your feet, shifting your body weight from your heels to your toes. Spread your feet hip-width apart. Move sideways by transferring your body weight to your toes and heels while turning your feet in the direction of movement. Stand on one leg. Raise your toes and heel alternately. Change legs. Standing on one leg, move sideways by transferring your body weight to your toes and heel while turning your foot in the direction of movement. Standing in a lunge, swing your rear leg around 180 degrees on one leg. With stimuli of greater strength, stability is regained by activating the reaction of the hip joint. Depending on the direction of the unbalancing force, we bend at the hips and the torso leans forward. For example, when the bus brakes suddenly, or we push the hips forward and the torso leans back. When the bus accelerates suddenly, hip flexion or extension stimulates the activity of the hip joint muscles and initiates a few other complex joint movements, also to a lesser extent in the ankle joint. Examples of hip exercises: working on coordination. Stand on your toes, push your hips forward, lift your toes, move your hips back. Standing with your back to the wall, raise your toes, lean your hips against the wall, lift your hips, lean against the wall with your shoulder blades, stand on your toes. Bend forward, move your arms back, up, bend your knees, move your arms forward, straighten your body, move your arms behind your head, bend back. In a sitting position supported on the floor, place your legs wide apart, bent at the knee joints. Place your knees on the floor on one side, then move them to the other side. Return to both sides several times. After gaining practice, perform the exercise without support, clasping your arms stretched forward. In a wide squat, interlace your hands at face level, point your knee inwards, and touch the floor. Exercise alternately with one and the other knee. In response to a strong stimulus disturbing balance, a third balance maintenance reaction is exposed, called the step strategy. It involves taking a quick step in the direction of the stimulus. For example, when we are hit by a passerby. Step exercises, coordination work. Practice the forward step. Practice the side step backwards. Practice side steps. Practice alternating step. Practice combinations of additional and variable steps in all directions. Practice body rotations initiated with the rear leg. Practice body rotations initiated with the front leg. Further, in the material you will find exercise suggestions for people of different ages, with different levels of physical fitness, and with different preferences. Choose the ones that suit you best and practice. Remember to individually warm up your joints and muscles before starting training, and stretch your muscles after finishing it.
Rise on your toes, raising your arms in front of you at shoulder height. To maintain your balance, tighten your abdominal muscles. Lower your shoulders, fall on your heels, relax all your muscles. Raise your knee and touch it with your opposite elbow. Lower your foot. Again, lift your knee and touch the inside of your raised foot with your opposite hand. Lower your foot. Perform the same sequence of movements with the other arm and leg. Move your hips forward, bend your knees, lift your heels, roll your shoulders back, move your hips back, bend your hip joints, lift your toes, and lean your torso slightly forward. Performing the exercise dynamically will make it easier for you to maintain your balance. Try to memorize and automate the movements so that muscle memory prevents you from losing your balance. Stand with your feet wider apart. Raise your arms up and lean your torso back. Turn your torso 45 degrees. Bend your torso towards one leg. Move your hands to the other leg. Turn your torso 45 degrees to the other side. Raise your arms, straighten your torso, and lean it back as in the first phase. Repeat on the opposite side. Stand on your tiptoes, raise your arms. Lower your shoulders, step onto your heels, lift your toes. Bend your knees, go into a half squat. With a swing, move your arms forward, up, straighten your torso. Get on your toes and move your hips forward. Step onto your heels, lower your arms, bringing them back with your hips and lift your toes. Repeat the sequence of movements. Stand with your feet slightly apart, your feet hip-width apart. Lower your position, move your knees and hips sideways. Place your feet on the edges. As you raise your position, move your knees and hips to the other side, changing the edge of your feet. Maintain your balance by moving your arms in the opposite direction of the bend of your knees. Perform extensive hip circulation with the help of the feet, which actively circulate with the hips, moving from the toes to the edges, then to the heels and to the other edges. Lift your knee in a smooth movement, direct them to the side, outwards. Lower your leg. Make a symmetrical return movement by lifting your knee to the side and pointing it forward. Lower your leg. Perform the exercise alternately with one and the other leg. Stand astride. Support yourself with your hand. Bend the knee of your front leg and touch the ground with the knee of your rear leg. Make a 180-degree turn and repeat the exercise on the other leg. Relax and bend your torso forward. Bend your knees and grasp your toes with your hands. Straighten your legs by pulling your toes up with your fingers. Feel your leg muscles stretching.
Warm up your leg muscles and joints. In a half squat, put one leg to the side 4 times, then the other 4 times. Join the cycle by squatting, and then straightening your body by raising your arms up and standing on your toes. Repeat the exercise at least 5 times until you feel full balance. Sit on the chair with your feet wide apart. Place your hands on your lap. Place your feet parallel to each other and rest them on the outer edges. Helping yourself with your hands, point your knees inwards. Overcome the resistance provided by your leg muscles. Your knees should rest against each other. You rest your feet on the inside edges. Adjust the scope of the exercise to your individual capabilities. Don't go beyond the pain limit. Increase the width of your knee stance in subsequent repetitions, observing the increase in the range of motion. Place your feet parallel and hip width apart. Without taking your feet off the floor, turn your face and shoulders back 180 degrees. Maintain your balance on your crossed legs. You will perform the same exercise in a more difficult form when you achieve proper fitness. Replace the 180-degree turn with a 270-degree turn. A 360-degree turn is another balance exercise. However, it requires taking your feet off the ground. You combine the rotation with a small jump. Remember to bend your knees to land safely. As you perfect the exercise, aim to land in the same place. With both hands against the wall, lift your knee and put one leg in front of the other. Place your foot on the floor as far away from your supporting foot as possible. Control your center of gravity so that your balance is not disturbed. Lift your other leg, bringing its knee closer to your body. Pass your leg behind your supporting leg and place your foot as before, as far away from your supporting foot as possible. Repeat the exercise until you achieve stable balance. As in the previous exercise, raise your knees and cross your legs, but do not support yourself. Maintain an upright posture, and as you improve your balance, increase the pace of the exercise, adding, if possible, a change of the supporting leg with a hop. Raise your arms up. Lower your arms 3 times in an energetic movement while bending the knee of one leg, and then take a step with it. Stand steadily on the other leg and bend it at the knee as you take a step. Concentrate on performing the exercise precisely and eliminating posture distortion. When improving, eliminate supporting the exercising leg on the ground. Repeat the same exercise on the other leg. Stand on one leg. Stretch your arms forward while simultaneously bending your torso and extending the other leg back. Hold the swallow position for a few seconds. Feel the tension in your abdominal muscles. Repeat on one and the other leg until you feel balanced. Bending your hips, step your right leg forward and rest it on your heel. At the same time, put your hands clasped in a basket in front of you, turning them with their backs facing inwards. Straighten up. Perform the exercise on the left leg and then on both sides several times. Place your feet shoulder width apart. Raise your arms to shoulder height and bend them at the elbows. Turn your torso to the right. Look behind your elbow. At the same time, raise your left foot onto your toes and raise your heel clearly upwards. Turn in the opposite direction and then repeat several times. Adjust the pace and range of movement to your abilities, and then increase them as you become more trained. Stand sideways. Place your feet shoulder width apart. Rotate 360 degrees. Finish the rotation with a squat and kneeling on one knee. Rise up. Rotate to the other side 360 degrees, ending with a squat and kneeling on the other knee. Repeat several times. Stretch your arms forward. Standing on one leg, lift the knee of the other leg, then straighten the raised leg. Repeat straightening and bending the knee several times. Then switch legs and do another set of exercises. Still standing on one leg, raise the other leg back and, using your hand, press your heel to your buttock. Move the raised leg forward and press the knee to the body with your hand. Then bend the knee of the supporting leg. Place the raised foot on the thigh of the supporting leg. Press the raised knee down with your hand. Repeat the entire sequence on the other leg. Lying on your back, resting your legs on your feet, bending them at the knees. Lift your hips and straighten one leg at the knee. Then bend it at the knee and lift your torso to touch your elbows to the knee. Repeat a few times, then switch legs and do more repetitions with the other leg. From a deep squat, go to a kneeling position. Lift the knee of one leg and place your foot in front of you. In this position, lower your hips as much as possible. Return to kneeling, perform a deep squat, and repeat the sequence with the other leg. Exercise alternately with one and the other leg. Sit in a ship's position with your legs bent at the knees and straighten your arms until your toes reach your toes. In this position, alternately straighten one leg, then the other. A more advanced form of this exercise involves tilting the shoulder blades as much as possible towards the floor. Assume a plank position. Place your forearms on the mat, placing your elbows under your shoulders. Keep your spine straight by tucking your tailbone slightly and tightening your abdominal muscles. Place your feet shoulder width apart. Turn your hips to the right, placing your feet on the edges, one behind the other. At the same time, raise your left arm up behind you and move your right leg diagonally under your left leg. Repeat both ways. From kneeling with support, go to lying on your knees, lowering your chest as much as possible and without taking your hands off the ground. Hide your head between your shoulders. Then go to lying on your front. Place your hands at chest level and raise your torso to a straight position. Keep your hips on the mat and tilt your head back.
Stand on one leg, then squat at the same time with the leg that is in the air. Reach as far as you can. Keep an eye on your knee that it didn't collapse inwards. Return to the starting position. Do several repetitions in different directions. Then do the sequence on the other leg. Start by shifting your weight to one side, then lean forward, bending the joint of the supporting leg. The leg should be slightly bent at the knee joint. At the same time, lift your other leg behind you so that it stays there, an extension of your torso. Return to starting position, straightening at the hip joint. After finish all of the repetitions, do the exercise on the other side. Start by shifting your weight to one side, then lean forward, bending the joint of the supporting leg. The leg should be slightly bent at the knee joint. At the same time, lift your other leg behind you so that it stays there, an extension of your torso. Hold this position 20 to 30 seconds, then change sides. Standing on one leg, point one hand towards your foot in the air. Knee and elbow joint keep upright. Touching should occur where the angle between the thigh and the torso is about 90 degrees. Do 10 repetitions, then switch legs. Transfer your weight to one leg, then jump to the side on the opposite leg. Bend your arms at the elbows and wave them according to the movement of the body. When landing on one leg, bend your knee joint slightly to absorb the impact. Hold this position for 2 seconds and do another jump. Continue jumping from one leg to the other at a set pace. Take a step back and lower yourself so that the knee of your leg is behind you, slightly above the ground. From this position, dynamically raise your body up while simultaneously straightening the front leg and lifting the back knee so that it is at hip level. Make the designated number of repetitions and repeat the sequence on the other leg. Start on all fours with your hands directly under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. The knees must be raised a few centimeters above the ground. Simultaneously move your right arm and left leg forward, keeping your knees close to the ground. Then move your left arm and right leg. Try to keep your body stable while dodging while rocking it from side to side so that the marker doesn't fall off your back. Walk like this for 10 meters and rest, then do the designated number of sets. Standing on both feet, stand on the edge of the platform with your hands on your hips. Jump off the platform. Try to land evenly on both feet. To break your fall, bend the hip and knee joints simultaneously. Step back onto the platform and complete the designated number of repetitions. Standing on one leg, stand on the edge of the platform with your hands on your hips. Jump off the platform and land on one leg. To break your fall, bend the hip and knee joints simultaneously. Try not to let your knee slide inwards, then get back on the platform and perform the designated number of repetitions. Place your feet hip-width apart, bend your knees slightly, and lean forward slightly at the hips to prepare to jump. Bend your knees, use your arms to swing back, then jump vigorously using your leg muscles and throw your arms up. Try to land lightly on the box, bend your knees slightly, and after landing, maintain a stable position for 2 seconds. Return to the starting position and perform the designated number of repetitions. Stand on one leg, slightly bend the knee of your supporting leg, and lean slightly forward at the hips to prepare to jump. Swing your arms back, then jump up energetically using the muscles of the leg you are standing on and throw your arms up. Try to land lightly on the box, bend your knees slightly. Once you land, stay in this position for 2 seconds. Return to the starting position and do the designated number of repetitions. Start by placing one foot on the platform, shift your weight to the leg on the platform, straighten up and lift your body onto the platform. At the same time, raise the knee of the other leg to hip height. Hold this position for 2 seconds and return to the start position. Do the designated number of repetitions and repeat on the other leg. Step onto the bench, taking one step at a time, and get to the other end of the bench without falling off. When taking steps, you can slightly bend your knees and raise your straight arms to shoulder height. This will help you maintain your balance. Once you have covered the entire bench, get off it and repeat the exercise.
Kneel on the mat and lean on your forearms so that they are at shoulder height. Lift your torso leaning on the toes. Rotate to the side position, all the time controlling the elevation of the hips. Weight rests on your shoulders and toes. Do a few repetitions on the right and left sides. Kneel with support and raise your knees to increase difficulty of the exercise. Place your knees under your hips and hands under your shoulders. Raise one arm and the opposite leg so that the body is in a straight line. Do the sequence alternately. Right leg back, left hand forward. Left leg back, right hand forward. Perform this exercise similarly to the previous one. Place yourself in a propped kneeling position with your knees raised. Your hands are under your shoulders and your knees are under your hips. Your partner is in front of you. Straighten it out right arm, so your arm and the torso form a straight line. Touch your partner's left hand with your right hand, and he does the same exercise. Hold the position for a moment. Do the exercise alternately. Sit with your ground facing away from you, so that your backs are facing each other, they weren't touching. Lift your legs up and start doing rotations. When you rotate to the right, your partner turns to the left. In the final phase, you touch each other with your hands. Then you turn in the opposite direction. Rest your body weight on your bent legs. Your right hand holds on to the grip on the climbing wall. Straighten your legs, trying to keep your balance. Reach as high as you can with your left hand. Lift your right leg, resting your weight on the straight leg, hands up. Repeat the exercise several times for your right and left hand. Climb the climbing wall. It's not about speed, but about mindfulness. After reaching the top of the panel, take your hands off the wall and bounce with your legs. Move down. Your partner has you covered. Climb with the help of a partner, performing a traverse. Change the position of your body in relation to the climbing wall. Every few movements, change the side adjacent to the panel to force your body into balance. Position your body facing the climbing wall, supporting yourself at 3 points legs plus one arm. Dynamically straighten your legs, raise your body, so that your free hand reaches as high as possible. Do a few repetitions for your right and left arms. Position your body facing the climbing wall, leaning on 3 points. Perform a dynamic jump up to reach as high as possible. Holding the grip, balance from your right leg to your left. Repeat the exercise several times.
My name is Loredana Savoy. For 20 years, together with Andrea, we have been running a multi-activity sports project for children in various age groups, from 3 to 14 years old. At the beginning, this path was quite straightforward and linear, as we received a lot of support from the local community. Activities were limited, focused, and carried out in small groups. At the beginning of this process, we organized very long modules lasting from 9 to 12 months, focusing mainly on various disciplines related to movement in mountainous areas. Starting from alpine skiing, cross-country skiing, snowboarding, snowblading, telemark skiing, children could try their hand at these disciplines. While at other times of the year, we also organized ice skating, mountain biking, and indoor climbing, as well as rock climbing. Then we opened up to new formats, including single-theme sports modules lasting a week, to enable a comprehensive approach to sports as an educational tool. These sports activities gradually became very diverse, and we proposed and continue to propose badminton, sport climbing, athletics, orienteering, floorball, inclusive soccer, fencing, baseball, archery, and golf. The aim of these sports weeks is to provide children with the opportunity to discover new sports while working in an absolutely integrated and inclusive group environment. Therefore, children with disabilities, those facing social problems resulting from parental difficulties, as well as children without any issues, all participate together. This environment, in a way, can contribute to the child's development in various aspects. Firstly, children can support each other. They can find their mental and physical balance not only through engaging in sports, but also by being part of such a diverse group. They can learn the proper approach to sports and competition, focusing primarily on themselves rather than the opponent, thus achieving personal balance, which also helps prevent discontinuation of sports practice, a common phenomenon. However, this balance is a result of the equilibrium among the staff members who facilitate the proper pedagogical approach by building a friendly environment. The individuals working within the network include sports coaches, educators, and volunteers. Together, we strive to create an environment conducive to the well-being of the child. As a result, parents can trust us with the care of their child, and we can work together synergistically as a family and team, aiming for the child's development. We see in various activities that this model is absolutely effective, as evidenced by the results we have achieved for each child. Importantly, each child achieves a specific outcome that may not be uniform for all. As part of this project, we attempted for the first time to create a working group consisting of professionals with different competencies. Later, we transferred this model to other activities where a professional is supported by other individuals, as you may have noticed during the rock climbing sessions. The goal is to create an environment with a high degree of synergy, where each specialist brings their unique skills. It's about networking and intertwining different individual training paths proposed by various operators, all for the benefit of children/youth. Our participants are welcome to the climbing wall in a very relaxed atmosphere, where they feel comfortable and never intimidated by what they have to do. Climbing is not an intuitive sport at all, so children often have many fears at the beginning. We assume that we are working with children, almost all of whom have cognitive issues or intellectual disabilities. For them, the idea of putting on a harness, something that constrains them, of being attached to a rope, and above all, trusting the person holding the rope, as well as trusting the mountain guide, can be terrifying. Our environment has become so balanced over the years of collaboration that children now support each other, helping each other in climbing, supporting one another under the watchful eye of the mountain guide. This is the testimony that shows how balance, joy, and a relaxed atmosphere, cultivated in our environment, lead to children trusting each other, and their development is mutually stimulated. Climbing is a sport that brings significant benefits, as it greatly helps children in stretching, maintaining good posture, balance, but above all, in building self-confidence. As always, here too, the goal is not the same for everyone, but is personalized. There are children who are currently able to climb walls exceeding 30 meters with great skill, proficiency, without any hesitation. Other children may only be able to ascend a few meters off the ground. For us, it is important that it is always highly enjoyable. Everything we propose is done in a playful manner. The child doesn't feel pressure, doesn't fall into a state of anxiety that could lead to situations difficult to control. The aim is always for the individual to return home with a sense of significant personal development and satisfaction.
I would like to introduce myself. My name is Zbigniew Stachura. I am a physical education teacher. I work with youth aged 11 to 15 years. In the physical education classes I lead, I place special emphasis on general development exercises and specialized exercises related to the discipline we are currently covering. We play team sports, handball, soccer, basketball, volleyball, track and field, cross-country running, floorball, table tennis, and many other disciplines. It is extremely important for me to select and apply forms and methods of work that activate both children with lesser and higher physical abilities. I particularly strive to motivate children with lower physical abilities to encourage them to move and develop their skills. I am very pleased that attendance in my classes is 100%. I also run a school sports club, which is designed for both youth with limited physical abilities and those who are the most physically capable. Assessment plays a crucial role in the development of children and youth. Students with lesser abilities have the opportunity to receive the highest grades, provided that they participate in the school sports club, where they are assessed based on their individual progress. Students who work systematically develop and achieve better results. Particular importance is given to balancing exercises, which improve the sense of balance. They are crucial for children with both lower and higher physical abilities. I would like to introduce my student, Yulia, who additionally trains in sport acrobatics and has achieved a very high level of physical balance. My name is Yulia. I train in acrobatics, gymnastics, and dance. I would like to show you my performance.